All right, you're watching this video and you're absolutely lazy, right? You don't want to do the work, you don't want to push, you don't want to give effort, but everywhere around you you're hearing push, give more effort, you can do it, right? And I get it. First of all, let me empathize with you. I'm probably one of the laziest people known to man who has overcome his laziness by exploring my inner world and understanding the real purpose, the spiritual significance of my laziness. And that's what I want to talk today about in today's video. And I want to give you a very esoteric understanding of laziness because there's a lot of different schools of thought, philosophy, religion that gives you a very different perspective on this. And it's important for us to understand laziness very differently. Okay. So, without further ado, I am going to speak about this topic, but first and foremost, I'm going to change the settings. So, make sure that you read the disclaimer, make sure you're not an idiot, you don't break the laws of the land. Understand that you uh, have all full responsibility, 100% responsibility before you indulge and engage with this, okay? Now, what does the word laziness really mean? Okay. What does it really mean? What does it really mean? To me, it means I need encouragement. It means I don't have the inspiration, or I'm not looking for the inspiration that I know is going to set me apart, help me expand my life into a greater growth and inspiration and expansion, an abundance mentality, right? Scarcity breeds more scarcity. So if you start something with a scarcity mind, it's going to create more scarcity mind, right? Like, I can't do it like that. And so you start this project from a fear-based mindset, but that's all that's going to produce is the fruits of that labor is going to breed more scarcity. See what I'm saying? It's the opposite. Abundance breeds more abundance, right? So when you give yourself opportunities, possibilities, outcomes, you see it through a different way, right? It's not this one track mind thing. It's really you figuring out how to fine tune this laziness. Okay. So first and foremost, laziness, you got to have some spiritual introspection if you're working with this energy. The spiritual meaning of laziness can be understood as an invitation to look within. Okay. This is an invitation to look within because it's revealing areas where we might be disconnected from our true purpose, right? Where are you out of alignment with your natural energy? What do you think? You already know the answer, right? What do you think? What's the answer? What's the code here? Where are you out of alignment with your natural energy? Laziness arises when there's a disconnection between our deeper self and our day-to-day actions, suggesting that our spirit may be resisting the tasks and directions that lack meaning. Okay. And authenticity. So, in a spiritual sense, laziness is almost like it's the presence of inner stagnation. Okay. Which is the opposite of flow. It's like this apathy, this numbness. I don't want to do it. push it away. It's easier to just avoid it. Why go through all that hardship anyway? Right? This kind of thoughts aren't helping you first and foremost because your mindset is in scarcity. It's weak. And where you have unprocessed emotions or limiting beliefs, attachments that prevent the free flow of energy and motivation, it becomes a signpost, right? Asking you to evaluate what truly matters, what really matters in your life. Are you aligning your action with your soul's calling? Are you releasing what no longer serves you? It was 11/11 yesterday. Did you let go of something that didn't serve you? Okay. Ultimately, laziness invites us to address our inner blocks and have more harmony between our intentions and actions. Laziness with an exploration of the inner world, you'll realize when you're bored, you're not actually relaxed in your physical body. You're still stressed. That creates boredom. But if you can relax your body as you're lazy, as you're understanding that there's this tension, the stress that it has to be done, and you're speaking to yourself like this too, right? I have to do this. I should be. I must. I need to. Okay. One which a lot of women love. I feel like. What does that even mean, yo? I feel like he's just really not a good person. How do you know? I don't know. It's just a feeling. It's just an impulse, an intuition. Okay. So we have to understand when we have to call these out in ourselves, right? And others, because it's like, how are we ever going to give ourselves less pleasure if we're using a bad vocabulary? We're not using a vocabulary. Vocabulary is I get to do this. I could be doing this. I choose to do this. You know, I get this weird sensation in the corner of my ear when you said that, instead of I feel like, right? And so now we're getting more clear, we're creating more clarity. Whereas earlier, this laziness was just distortion, noise, a good confusion. Okay. Yo, what's good, Brian G? So you can also be lazy rich, right? You can also be lazy productive. But you're thinking about laziness as if it's this negative thing and that you will stagnate. However, laziness invites us to explore our inner blocks and vitality, like I said. So it's a form of inner misalignment where you can transform it into a pathway of greater self-awareness, purpose, vitality, and so forth. So last night was, of course, the Janus channeling. If you missed it, either shoot me a message. If you haven't attended, this is only for the people who have never attended one of my channelings. Okay. If you have never attended one of my channelings before, I will give you one free pass. Okay. If you watch this video today and you send me a message, could I please have the Janus recording for 11/11? Okay. Maybe give a little donation. That'd be appreciated. I'll send it over to you. Okay. Because it was very, very key and very, very important. I felt a deep shift happening. Choir instrumentals, very interesting. That's cool. So I'm talking to the guy right now who's feeling shy and he struggles with laziness. And, you might see these tendencies not as flaws, but as clues. Okay. They're clues into a deeper understanding yourself. Perhaps your shyness is a natural way of observing and absorbing the world before you step forward, while your laziness is a signal that you're out of alignment with what truly excites you, right? Or resonates with your values. So maybe someone is out of alignment with one of your values. So the next time you feel the urge to say, I don't know, kind of, perhaps, maybe, sort of, you hesitate, it's okay to speak softly. It's okay not to know the answers. When it comes to laziness, you approach it as an invitation to reflect rather than judge thyself. Because what do you actually feel drawn to? And how can you make the next step meaningful, fun, right, and energizing? That's really the better question, rather than why am I feeling lazy, right? So both laziness, shyness, they're doorways, right? Rather than obstacles. It leads you to a more fulfilling expression of who you are, okay? And we're going to be speaking about the spirituality behind this, okay? Let's bring up a few things. Of course, Ryan G is playing a choir music, like a choir version from Deadpool and Wolverine. I'll take you there. Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's great. I'm definitely going to check it out after this. All right, so in Advaita Vedanta, okay? Advaita means non-dual awareness, okay? Non-dualism, non uh, secondness. It's just oneness, right? So in Advaita Vedanta, overcoming laziness is rooted in the understanding that all aspects of our experience, including inertia and laziness, it stems from Maya, the illusion that conceals our true boundless self as the all-encompassing energy, the Brahman. So scriptures emphasize laziness as this word, tamas, tamasic, okay? There's Sattva, this Raja, right? So it was more of the balancer. I see Rajas more of like the go energy, the go-getter energy, spices, garlic, that energy. And then you have tamas, which is this kind of slow inertia, laziness, heaviness. Ranji, if you ever remember the Ananta channeling, that's exactly uh, how it feels like, tamas, right? It's a misidentification with the ego and body rather than pure consciousness of Atman. So it actually takes you more into your body and you feel more into the pain with the tamasic energies, right? So this comes through your diet as well, right? What are things you eat that increase your tamas? Let's find out. Let's find out. We want to be optimal here on this channel, right? We want to figure out ways that, we can balance the pure uplifting sattvic nature with our more activating foods, and especially with these, if you ever eat like these types of foods, right? So like fried and oily foods, right? Deep fried items, chips, candies, fast food, sometimes red meat, but I love red meat. I can't take that one away. Sorry. There's something very beneficial to carnivore diet as well. I feel, at least in my own experience. Life force prana. Okay. Food that no longer, like leftover food, right? Old food that you leave in the fridge after days and days. I've got to stop really doing this, right? It's creating more sluggishness for me. Like heavy, like cream cheese, butter, all these different things. And of course, caffeine also, right? Temporary boost, but leads to some burnout, especially if you're like chugging it down like espresso shot after espresso shot, right? I used to have a roommate called Matt Kirby, who used to be obsessed with caffeine. Right now, I just have a cup a day or something, right? I'm good. Generally, but I think now with the energy maintenance protocol we have going, I think this is going to be very good as we move to New Zealand and we work on this procrastination, laziness, and all of these different things. Have a meat only day. Pause. Yeah, totally. Well, it took me a week to process that slowness from the Ananta channeling. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so you guys get it, right? So the Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, I think it's like chapter 3, verse 4. Not by merely refraining from action. This is his quote, direct quote. Okay. He emphasizes passivity doesn't lead to spiritual progress. Okay. Not by merely refraining from action does one attain freedom from reaction, nor by mere renunciation does one attain perfection. He says it himself. It's in the Gita. Okay. So if you want to challenge me right now, you're going to get checked because you are trapped probably in a lower state of tama, some of you, right? Myself included. I feel lazy at times, right? I don't want to do anything, but then I find some right action to do. I trust my body, and my body knows what to do to let go of the inertia. But you've stopped trusting your body. You've been like, no, that's not working. This is not right. And you've not thanked your body, having the gratitude for your organs and body and health and all these things. So the Upanishad, the Mundaka one, it mentions three things, right? Faith, discipline, absorption. These are essential in transcending lower mental states. Okay. Let's just say you need three things: faith, discipline, and absorption. Okay. One who knows the self, who is pure, free from desire, and absorbed in meditation on the self, is fit to overcome the limitations of ignorance. What if in your laziness you started to meditate and you started to recognize what was the real thing, what was the real root cause that was going on? You know, what if you were attacked by an entity and you mistook it for laziness, right? Dang, I'm just such a lazy motherfucker, right? But this entity is siphoning from you or something. So Advaita advises approaching each moment as an opportunity to dispel the illusion of laziness by engaging in action with awareness of the self. For example, take the act of, people rise early to meditate. Okay. So in Advaita, you observe feelings of laziness upon wake, and you remember, I'm not the body or mind that seeks comfort. I am the infinite. I am ever awake. I am the ever awake Brahman, right? So this shift can actually help you reframe action from this burdensome thing you have to do to the natural expression of the self, right? So they have this analogy of the snake and the rope. Okay. So in dim light, a rope may be mistaken for a snake, right? It causes fear. So similarly, laziness is mistaken as part of the self. You guys get that? Laziness is mistaken as part of the self because of ignorance. We think it's laziness is us. It's a part of us. But it's a state, right? So once we shine the light on awareness through self-inquiry, we recognize the true self is never bound by inertia, fear, or limitation. So this dissolves the ego's attachment to comfort and allows you to be spontaneous, find something meaningful, find something purposeful. So in Advaita, the ultimate practice is self-inquiry, right? They call it something like Atma Vichara or something like that. But, Ramana Maharshi talks about it. When laziness comes up, you ask, who is the one who is lazy? Right? So you direct awareness back to the source, self. Who is the one that is lazy? Or am I experiencing laziness, right? By repeatedly witnessing the body and mind's inclinations without attachment, you reduce the power of this tamas, right? you reduce the power of this. And gradually, as you practice this, laziness will transform, and every action that you take will become infused with purpose, joyful engagement, and nature of Brahma. Now let's break down what the different religions say about laziness, okay? Or schools of thought. Let's say Buddhism, okay? Now for Buddhism, it's frequently spoken about, but this is also, an kind of ignorance, right? So in the Dhammapada, Buddha said one should avoid laziness. The wise declare diligence. Okay. The wise declare diligence as the path to liberation. Okay. So in Buddhism, it's linked to tanha or craving. Right? Or a kind of aversion hindering mindfulness, right? Let's say Christianity. Okay. Let's take Christianity. Book of Proverbs is a great one for laziness. If you ever want to, go into it. Proverbs 6, 9, 11. Let's go. Okay. That's what she said. All right. Listen to this quote, man. This is from the Bible. Okay. LB Bible, right? Biblioteca of the EL. L is God, Elohim. Um, the verse of links laziness to complacency here. It warns that it can lead to misfortune and spiritual stagnation, right? So it says, how long will you lie here, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want for desire like an armed man. Okay. Now let's take Islam as an example with the Quran. The Quran. Surah Al-Asir says, the Prophet Muhammad obviously warned against idleness, right? He emphasized that time and health are blessings. Time and health are blessings, which can be wasted through laziness. Okay. Okay. So I'll give the little quotation so you guys can look it up. Okay, find it. What was the other one? Proverbs, right? Proverbs and the Dhammapada. See it. Okay. By the time indeed mankind is in loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds. Okay. So it's a warning against idleness or laziness. That time and help are the gifts. Don't waste those gifts. Okay. Next, we have Hinduism, or the Gita. I might not have much time to break all of this down, guys, but let me just go through it as fast as possible. I do have work, but I want to get you guys to understand this better. So it can really drill it home, huh? Like, bro, every single doctrine is talking about this. Krishna tells Arjuna, Okay. This is the Gita. It says you have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Okay. He speaks for action in alignment with dharma or duty here, guys. So laziness is discouraged because individuals are urged to carry out their duties with purpose and duty rather than avoiding them out of this tamasic nature, this lower nature, this inertia, this apathy, right? So even Krishna talks about this, right? Then we have Taoism. Okay. What does it say in Taoism? I mean, the Tao teaching doesn't directly condemn laziness, but it encourages the natural flow of life, right? So you got to be effortless in harmony with the Tao to stop being lazy, essentially. One with the Tao for universe equals effortless. Effortless results. Right? Pretty straightforward. We don't need to break this down much further. Again, it gets very heady to read a lot of Taoism because we have to break it down through different angles. So we might look it up in a future video, but for right now, let's just look at it like this, okay? The Talmud, okay? Let's look at Judaism, Sikhism, and maybe I'll look at a few more philosophies and end it, okay? So in Jewish teachings, there was a rabbi that said this. Prepare yourself for a teacher and acquire yourself for a friend, okay? Laziness and inaction are obstacles to growth, relationships, and fulfillment. So it warns against wasting your time and talents. Okay, you have limited time in this world. So prepare for yourself a teacher and acquire for yourself a friend. Sikhism. This is for the Talmud. Okay. Sikhism. Okay. Guru Nanak. Guru Granth Sahib, my bad. Um, and Sikh scriptures state, and this is, I love this quote. It's vain. Sikhism encourages honest labor, kirit karo, and laziness is viewed as failure to honor the duty. So, you're a slacker, McFly. Okay. The slacker who indulges in idleness wastes his life away in vain. Okay. So you got to have that honest labor. There's no magic spell that's going to make me do shit with passion. Right. I don't know. There might be, bro. But yeah, Zoroastrianism, Avesta. Okay. Dang. It's one word, huh? Dang, Zoroaster. They really had to give it to us like that, huh? The Avesta teaches people to engage in constructive actions that benefit the entire community. So In Zoroastrian teachings, laziness is contrary to truth and order. Okay. Because it undermines collective welfare. You guys get that? It's central to the ethics of this thing. I always imagine God himself having to carry me like he did with our sins in that sense. Mm-hmm. I get what you mean. So once you start to examine across different philosophies or these religions, right? Different schools of thought, you also reveal a very big obstacle to achieving our full potential, which is laziness. And for Stoicism, let's say Marcus Aurelius, what did he say? Marcus Aurelius said, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being, right? So laziness is counteracted by recognizing your importance or contribution to the greater good. So you're embracing your resilience and discipline by getting up and helping and sharing others, right? So it gives me a breath of life to share these videos with you and teach because it fills me with life and it allows me to learn twice, right? So in Taoism, the perspective on laziness is different, of course, because instead of seeing it as failing, the Taoist philosophy encourages us to examine our natural rhythm, right? And so this natural rhythm, the wu wei, effortless effort, observe that by forcing action can be as harmful as inactivity. So that's why Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching teaches non-resistance so that we find our true authentic energy. So this is all about authenticity, guys, right? If you're inauthentic, you're going to feel lazy. It's kind of what we've understood, right? It's like you're forcing it, pushing it. You're not being yourself, you know? And so laziness is a misalignment with the natural flow. We find productivity when we act from inner harmony, right? When we're feeling really good inside, we're performing really good outside. And when we let go of the ego constructs of this thing, it has to be this specific way. I have to have it, or else I'll be fully forever rejected. It's all or nothing, baby, right? That mentality puts you out of the zone because now you're like putting such a big risk factor on it that it spikes up the flow state for that very short amount of time. Now, risk is a flow state trigger. You got to notice this, but not when it's coming at the cost of creating more scarcity or breeding more fear within you, because now you're entering flow from fear and then you're creating more fear as a result of you getting into that flow as well, because it's the same energy with which you started it, right? So laziness is dispelled by engaging wholeheartedly with the present moment. So this is why you have to practice mindfulness. And someone who's a peak performance shaman in this path, you got to understand how to take all of these philosophies, right? Build your body, take all these philosophies, and put it in a grinder, mixy, like a mixer, and make it come out with one smoothie, right? That's like your own perfect blend. That's going to break you and push you out of the inertia. You're going to balance your energy in a powerful way, right? So in the Stoic sense, the shaman takes action with clarity. In the Taoist sense, they find the natural rhythm and flow, right? Isn't that masculine, feminine of life, that dance, right? And then Zen, of course, or Chan or Zen reminds the shaman to maintain present of every action, right? And we're drawing from these traditions where we see laziness not as a fixed state. Okay. We see laziness now. Now that we've broken this down, we know it not as a fixed state, it's a dynamic state. It's a signal to realign. Okay. It's a signal to realign. That's all it is. And am I avoiding my purpose or moving against my natural rhythm, right? Am I avoiding my purpose, Stoicism? Am I moving against my natural rhythm, Taoism? And am I losing presence, Zen? Once you know this, then you can find ways to embody a more energetic harmony through each action that you're doing. And you're naturally channeling yourself towards flow now, because laziness now is a doorway. It's no more like you know, a locked door for you. It fuels your peak performance and it creates alignment with the higher self. Feeling sorry for yourself, surprisingly enough, isn't a sin. Hmm. Well, sin just means you missed your mark, right? In the traditional sense, it's an archery term. And pity can be discouraged because it's looking down on yourself or your past self or someone, or focusing excessively on suffering without constructive action, right? So pity is kind of like the sense of superiority that actually separates us from source or God, right? So compassion, on the other hand, is encouraged, right? Is encouraged on the spiritual path, whereas pity keeps people stuck in a sense of negativity, helplessness. Compassion uplifts, pity reinforces suffering, right? So in a way, pity might be seen as an obstacle or maybe a less evolved response, but it's rarely considered sinful, which is strange to me too. And it's just one of the many feelings we might want to transform into something that builds us more connection, something that primes us more into the present moment. Okay. So this is an invitation to explore. It's not for you to conclude something about it, like I'm a lazy person. I identify with this state right now, and I'm going to make this my entire persona and identity. You say, I'm a procrastinator. Why have you made that your identity? You procrastinate at times. It's a tendency, right? I learned this from one of my mentors a long time ago, bro. And said, is this your identity or just a tendency? That stopped me on my tracks. So I was like, wait a second. He's totally right. I don't have to conclude this and identify that I am lazy. Okay. There could be many other factors and reasons that's draining me right now, including the Schumann resonance spikes and random solar flares and weird stuff on the planet, right? So I'm not gonna label myself and misdiagnose myself when I haven't even explored this thing, right? Billy Madison, yeah. I'm at a point in my life where I want to become like water. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And from that formlessness, then you can create, right? This has been my mission too, my friend, right? Be living embodied water. You see that thing that I created, guys, the other day? Um, Dang, let me show you guys. Hold on. Just gotta find it first. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Master Sumananda. This is so lit, man. Master Sumananda. Okay, so oh yeah, I wanted to share this one too. It's quite funny. This is on my Instagram, by the way, so just go follow my Instagram. My latest post from for 11/11 yesterday. Um, where did I save it? Okay, here it is. All right, I gotta get going, guys. 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes. Okay. Master Sumananda, flow state downloads. He says, stop resisting the flow and become it. Ooh, oh my goodness, that's a pimp slap to every single metaphysical person listening and watching this, right? In every single dimension, density, and realm, they're hearing this. Stop resisting the flow and become it. Become embodied water. Let Akashic insight stream through you now. This is like a Netflix subscription that's forever, right? So now streaming Wisdom on Demand. Isn't that amazing? And also shout out to these like Buddha Eye, Peacock Feathers, Sanat Kumara, Essence, whatever is going on here with the dragon wings and all that stuff, and the third eye pulsating. Hey, ChatGPT can make some amazing things at times, right, guys? And then there's this one, which I love, and I created this meme, so give me credit, okay? If you're taking this meme, if you're showing your friends, give just Uncle Makara, give me credit, Flow Zone Academy. Primal Sutra, give me credit. Okay. So he says, wait, no, you can't be happy without any reason. That's so delusional. The world is so cooked, man. What a hellish, nightmarish world. And Chad Buddha or Chuda says, Chuda, right? Some Indian people laugh at that. Anyway, happiness is a state of mind. No reason needed. Enlightenment for the benefit of all go, brrr, right? So this is the energy, bro. And I want you to really tap into this now because we don't see enough spiritual people that bring this yang energy alive, you know? A lot of the spiritual people, they're very floaty. They're not processing what's really going on. They're in this passivity, which is really a laziness or a femininity, right? A softness, just a, gazing at this beautiful, landscape and trying to not understand the inner landscape. See what I'm saying? So this is really a process of self-discovery, of awareness, and you need to get inspired, get encouraged, look inwards, and start moving forward like this. So be it. So be it. Swaha. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Time your energy into this. Allow flow. Exactly, Ryan G. There's more joy in being an idiot than anything else for some people. Well, that's true. That's true for sure. But again, wouldn't you want to feel like you can be an idiot? I mean, isn't that actual happiness and freedom? Like you can be an absolute moron and nothing happens. That's kind of why people want to do these things and move along in certain things, right? But again, you don't want to be an idiot for the sake of being an idiot. You want to be a fool because you have not bound yourself to this world's like doctrines, rules, dogma, and sandwiched yourself between, get a job, get married, and becoming a cog in the wheel rather than evolving your life. You're still doing that perhaps, but now you're doing it from a fresh pair of eyes, a new lens, embracing the hidden Shambhala. Um, recreational idiot. Exactly, man. Like it's just fun, it's just fun. Just be goofy. Like imagine you had millions and millions of dollars, right? You just got it all. Now I don't have to worry about just being a goofy mofo, right? Because I have the money, the Manny Pacquiao. I have the money to back it up. My goofiness, my silliness. See what I'm saying? My results show for the character that I'm stepping into. So that's the real key to abundance is like letting the money be like a permission slip for you to go absolutely, genius zone in a sense. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. Thank you for listening. Tapping out now, guys. I have a session. Let's get it. Peace, peace, peace. Much love.